Hey there, this is Pastor Tabitha Purple. We are doing the locked in videos at the minute. As promised in my last video, I was gonna start to be more consistent and produce more content each month. To that end, I've got a webpage, y'all. It's coming soon. I'm very excited. But during this time of me like stretching out and practicing what I'm going to be like and how I'm going to move forward with my life and all the different decisions I've been making over the last 6 months, we end up in, crisis time of corona, which is a virus that has been spreading around the globe. It's caused lots of disruption to people's lives. It's caused a lot of death and a lot of hurts and a lot of heartache. And so it's reached the Netherlands, which is where we actually live. And the schools went on lockdown today. So it's Sunday, but the schools went on lockdown. And so one of the major things, as soon as you hear as a parent that it goes on lockdown, is I think sheer panic. Well, at least maybe for me. So a lot of parents, I'm in a lot of different groups in the area, speak to a lot of different parents, support people through my work as a pastor, and a lot of parents were really worried that they were sending their kids to school, that it was really damaging for them, and they were really concerned about their children's well-being. See, now I was kind of the other way. I'd been following the scientific reports, following the news stories, looking at how corona was affecting people, and I kind of knew that the kids had the highest chance to be okay, and so I was really happy that my kids were at school and was quite happy that the system was still working, because it allowed me some time to focus on my work and to actually start providing services for people who maybe were at higher risk, some of our elderly members, etc, etc. But that all comes to a standstill because the children are off school for 3 weeks. 3 weeks. This is day one and it's a Sunday. So what I want to do is give a tip for how to really be intentional with children when they are at home for long periods of time. This could apply to the summer holidays, it could apply to vacations, it could apply to sick leave, whatever it is. But if you have healthy children and they're trapped at home, and we have an age range of preteens to toddler, so what can you do? So the first tip that I want to give is structure. So as soon as I heard that the children were on lockdown, I spoke to my husband and I said, right, the only way we're surviving this is if we have structure. He said the only way we're surviving this is because we have a park next to our house. So we will see what actually works. Maybe that'll be the test. Tomorrow's video will be my husband and I discussing whether the park or structure works better. We'll see how that goes. But my plan is to actually structure the day. I find that my children work better with structure. Long periods of time without structure can be really unsettling, really give quite a lot of stress, can really build up quite a lot of anxiety. They don't know what's happening. They don't know what they're allowed to do. The constant having to ask for things provides lots of extra decisions, which are actually very stressful for small children or big children alike. So having a structured day when they know the things that they have to achieve, despite that being a little bit something that they can rebel against, gives them at least the idea of where we're going in the day and what's expected of them. So for me, that was my first thought. So my massive tip for you, if you're a parent, is get out the whiteboard and set out a day. Like, what do you actually want it to look like? Now be fluid, because of course, book extra time, because children have to adjust just like we do to the fact that they're not going to school, but they're going to be with you. So write it out, but make sure you've built in flexibility to that plan. That's always my tip when you're doing structure, is to build in flexibility. Give a moment where the child has free time, where they're allowed to just veg out. Structure doesn't mean that you have to have every minute of the day planned with an activity. It just means that when you have the time when it says, like, from 2 till 4, that's your time to play, then they know that they get to just go and be themselves and be free and play with their toys or whatever it is you're saying they're allowed to play with. But if you still want them to actually be focused on their learning, that they know, okay, but when I get up in the morning, I need to achieve this, this and this, and then I'm allowed to go and do something, or at least I need to do 30 minutes of reading and then I'm allowed to have the video game. So structure doesn't mean that you tell them how to play games or what games they're allowed to play with, or, you know, that you have to have a planned activity. Structure means that you give a view of how a day should go. Look at the different components that make up a day. Think about it like school. Like, they're expected to read at school, they're expected to do some math, and they're expected to do some writing. So maybe for this vacation period, you have a journal that you're going to give them. You have a reading book that they have to read, and you have some math that they have to do. There's loads of brilliant websites that you can use for that. And so you've got those three things that you say, okay, every day at school you do that. So when you're at home, every day I want the same. So you're going to have to do 30 minutes of math, 30 minutes of reading, 30 minutes of writing something, or whatever you decide, science experiment, let's say. But that is an hour and a half out of a 24-hour day. So then knock out the 12 hours sleeping time. So they know, okay, 7 till 7 or whatever their bedtime is, that's my sleeping time. And then work from there to plan your days. Bracket lunch. Lunch at school is playtime as well. So they eat really quickly and then they run out. And I think that, you know, most children, especially during the vacation periods, eat like way more than what they eat during school time. So to kind of manage that flow of food, especially if you aren't actually allowed to go outside so much, you really have to think about that. So maybe have some dancing activities, some singing activities, some running around activities that they can do. But the structure doesn't mean that you actually have to plan an activity. It just means that you should then think through their day so that they can see where they're going, what the timeline looks like, what's expected, when they can expect to eat. You know, at school it's like regimented. They have a fruit break here, they have a lunch break here, and they're good. They know when they're getting food. They know when they get home, it's X amount of time until they get another meal. So for most kids, those things that can be really frightening because they have no control of it, they feel like because of the structure, they can have that control. So that's my big tip. We're going to be stuck in for 3 weeks, not necessarily in the house. According to hubby, we can still go to the park. So bring it on. We'll be planning our structure with the park time. So let's see what the winning formula is. Park time, structure. I still think structure works. He'll say, let them run out their energy at the park and see it all worked out in the end. But yes, so that's my big tip for the first locked in experience. We begin tomorrow morning with the children. I told them tonight that they were going to be off school. They might be off school for 3 weeks. And then I said to them, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have to do any studies. You're going to still have to read. My son's face was a picture. He was like, what? No school and I've still got to read. I was like, well, you're still expected to learn, sweetie. Mummy reads all the time. So there you go. We'll see how it actually goes in practice. I will try to be as honest as possible about how it went. As I said, my one son is not looking forward to Mummy's hardcore school system. He thinks I'm a bit harsh. I think 30 minutes of reading a book is not very long. He thinks that I'm being mean. My other son, on the other hand, wants to read all day. Go figure. It's a personality thing. So that's another tip. When you're looking at structure, bear in mind the personality of a child. Minimise conflicts for yourself. As long as they learn, read, do something. Come on, make your life easy. Don't have a fight with your kid. That's all I'm saying. You've got quite a few weeks in the house. Try not to fight from the beginning. Okay, so that's my tip. Good luck. God bless. I hope it goes well. And I look forward to hearing how you do. I'm going to try my best to do the right thing and get it done. What can I say? We got to try, right? Structure, 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 structure. Should work. Well, we've still got to do the stuff, so we'll see. Anyway, have a blessed day, and I will see you tomorrow when we try another tip of how to survive this wonderful time. I think probably surrounding food, because, you know, these kids can eat us out of house and home. God bless. Bye-bye.